I went to the palace of the Emir of Kano and declared that we are wresting power from whomever is in charge. Because why? They said Kano was President Buhari's stronghold. I came to Kaduna, you know, to announce the same thing. I've been in several states in Nigeria and I'm going to go back. You see, this is a point where all of us must decide that we are making a final push against these old, tired brigades in Nigeria that has been ruining Nigeria. Some of them have come 2 times. People accuse me of not having experience, and I ask them, what experience do the people there have? Experience in looting, assassination, killing, deception, and general mismanagement. That's the experience. We have voted for 2 people in Nigeria who were military leaders. We voted for them because they claimed that they were too young when they were in the military. That's why they made the mistakes. So we chose them when they said they were wiser. What did they leave Nigeria now? It left the country worse than it was when they ran it, when they were younger. So the voice is going to be very clear as long as I'm living. Even if they kill this physical body, my voice is already recorded in the record of history, and nothing will happen to it. Just like you talked about King. We listen to him every day and we get inspired because he has spoken and, you know, he has given us the life of his vision and conviction. And that is what I have tried to do and I continue to do. I'm not in any way comparing myself to Malcolm X or Martin Luther King, but they inspire me. When you talk about death rates, you know, whether it breaks my heart, you know, it's not the death rate that breaks my heart. It's that human life has no value in Nigeria. That breaks my heart. You know, people have no respect for you when you're alive, even when you die. That's Nigeria for you. So more questions.
Sir, my question is in regards to security. You have a lot of great ideas when it comes to development, when it comes to taking Nigeria back, moving it forward, economic development and all those great stuff. But for one thing I know is that without a stable security system, there is no infrastructure or redevelopment that will stand. Hence, what is your plan in regards to the failed entity called the Nigerian Police Force? And how do you intend to make Nigeria a safe haven, a secure place to attract investors, to make people that actually want to go back home, invest, and make Nigeria a better place than what it is today? Thank you.
Thank you very much, Eric. Very good. We have designed in our campaign a system that will look at 10-point agenda for the future of Nigeria. And number one, as if you saw it, number one there is security. And you know, security is so important. Nigeria is bleeding as we speak. You know, you've heard about the herdsmen farmers crisis. You know, there are kidnappers all over the place. Nigeria is about the only country in the world where somebody can be kidnapped in Kaduna and be driven all the way to Warri and taken to the ground. No policeman will stop you on the way. The greatest national security issue in the nearest future will actually be cyber security. And nobody's talking about it in Nigeria. So security is one of our major areas of concentration. In addition to power is electricity. So we have something that we call Spicer Heat, which is, you know, security, power, infrastructure, anti-corruption, economy, restructuring, and we have health, education, agriculture, technology, and also tourism, which is, the list keeps growing. Keeps growing every day. But the point to make to you is that how do we tackle security in Nigeria? First and foremost, it has to do with changing the orientation of our security agencies. For example, when you're talking about Boko Haram, the reason Boko Haram is still flourishing is that army generals in Nigeria don't want Boko Haram to end. That is how they make their billions. And I have done my own research, and as a reporter over these years, have reported on how they are doing it. They don't want Boko Haram to end. The Fulani herdsmen farmers crisis is flourishing because every time you see a problem flourish for too long, there are security agencies that are aiding and abetting those criminal elements. And the only way we can change and overhaul our security architecture or apartheid is to take out by democratic election this man who is in charge now, because he's not serving as the commander-in-chief of the armed forces. He's too weak as a commander-in-chief, both mentally and physically. When you talk about security, right, you are standing there, my brother, and there are thousands, if not millions, of your types out there that could have been recruited to be brought into Nigeria to come and help us look at how to build a new security system. If Nigeria is not the only place in the world that had terrible policing system. New York, the NYPD used to be a terrible police department, as you know. I studied it at Columbia University. But one officer came, you know, and I don't remember his name all the time, and looked at it, took the place apart. You know, he started with compensation. Then they started what they did with concert, where every departmental leader is asked to come and explain what's happening in their own department every Friday, to explain it. And before you knew it, a new level of accountability was created that made the NYPD one of the best police department in the country today. The same thing that happened to the Nigerian police. Don't forget that the same Nigerian police we are talking about that has failed is the place where they recruit EFCC officials, people like Nuri Magu. They are police officers. But when you don't have leaders who are accountable, leaders who are innovative, because also policing this has something to do with, you know, technology. And our leaders are still in the analog era. So they cannot lead a digital society. So we must get in place, as the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, a leader who has a digital sense. This would infect every sector. You know, they recruit policemen every year in Nigeria. But the recruitment, you can as well just give guns to armed robbers. They don't do no background check. They will just go and ask people, they will ask political leaders to submit lists of people. And before you know it, policemen are worse than the people. I've been in Nigeria now I was there for 2 months. I couldn't go and ask for police protection because that's as good as just going to hire armed robbers. We have to rebuild our security system. There's no question about it. It needs an overhaul.
That's right. And
by doing that, and we bring in accountability, we stop the corruption within the security apparatus in the country will start to see a very, very robust security system that will bring about the kind of peace, the kind of protection, and the rest of mind that people need. Part of when we were doing this, we did some little survey asking Nigerians what they really want. The biggest problem that everybody said they had in Nigeria is health. The reason why we asked them, why health? Because every other thing is affecting their health. Stress. You go from work to the house, there's no electricity. So you can't even sleep at night. And we know that even by common scientific definition of, science teaches us that mosquitoes don't do well where there's air conditioning. Yes, they cannot fly around if it's too cold. But in Nigeria, where would you get the electricity that can power? Sometimes when people even have electricity, it's in this Nigeria that I found out that you can have fake electricity, the one that cannot carry certain devices. You just see the light like this, you think it can work, but plug something in, the thing will just go down. It's horrible. Yes, and then they have generators everywhere. They even have a name, they call it, I better pass my neighbor. That's what they call it. But guess what? The reason you can't have electricity is that Nigerian leaders are also the ones importing the generators. So they can't be importing generators and making profit, and you expect them to allow electricity to happen. Whereas the rest of the world has gone even ahead with making renewable energy available. Like we're talking about solar. Tunisia and Morocco are going to be supplying France and Malta with solar energy in the next few years. because they are building over 4,500 megawatts of electricity just from solar alone. What is northern Nigeria? There, sunshine doesn't even stop from morning till night. Why are we not building, solar farms in those places? So that even Boko Haram people will come and be working there and have no time to be killing for in the name of religion. So the leadership in our place is not the one that knows what they are doing. They don't know what they are doing, and until we have leaders who know what they are doing, we need that. We need leaders who are exposed to how things work all over the world. The only exposure our leaders have is to just travel and be smiling in front of other world leaders. Yeah. You saw what our president came to do with Trump. Trump was so happy about the way he was signing away Nigeria because he's like posed behind him. You know why? Trump was able to get the president to allow more of the agro products to go to Nigeria. Meanwhile, President Buhari is saying that agriculture is doing very well. But now, U.S. subsidized wheat is heading to Nigeria. They are killing our own local economy. That's why he was very happy, and he posted behind him and said, look at this land, I just for one night thing. But what do you expect American leaders to do? They are there to protect the interests of their citizens. Our leaders don't protect the interests. I'm sure that President Buhari did not look at what he signed. That's right. Yes, I'm sure he has not read it. Because he can't read. That's the truth. So those limitations are real when it comes to leadership. And until we resolve them by putting people who can at least read and write, that's the starting point. We are going nowhere. So security, my brother, like I said to you when I saw you arrive, and when I arrived here, we are taking you with us next year when I win the election. You are asking a legitimate question. In fact, one of the what people said to us is, how can you even do anything in Nigeria without knowing so person? So we have made it public, and I'll say it here in front of you that we want to win, or we will win the presidency of Nigeria without going to Obasanjo's living room. That's right. Or without going to Abagida's living room in Mina. Or going to Tinubu's Bodilon house in Ikoyi. Because there are enough good people in Nigeria who can defeat these people if only we bond together. The reason we don't win elections is because we don't vote. The reason we don't vote is that we do not obtain voting cards that empowers us to vote. People will say, well, I'm in diaspora, I can't vote. But you know the power you wield on the people at home, because the diaspora is the ATM machine of Nigeria. They're always withdrawing from us. So when you ask them to go and vote for a person, they actually do listen to you. When you ask them to go and obtain a PVC, they'll listen to you. And some of you can do us a favor, go home, get your PVC, and spend your next vacation in Nigeria in February. It's always warm in February, whereas it's cold over here. So do I enjoy the warmth in Nigeria and vote for the right candidate, canvass for the right candidate. There's also something that we cannot discountenance. Since I started this, I have not spent a dime on television advertisement because I don't need it. The reason is that I'm a social media operator. Everything we are doing here is reaching more people than you can reach if you place an advertisement in a terrestrial TV station. We are on Facebook. When we were in London, before we finished our event, 30,000 had watched the live streaming we were doing in London last weekend. By the time we are done from here, probably some 10,000 people have watched it. No TV station in Nigeria can boast of 10,000 people watching simultaneously. Because why? There's no electricity to even watch the big TV. But you can charge your phone and keep it on with little data, and you can watch what we are doing. So please, you can also help us by spreading this message on social media platforms. If I convince you, if I have convinced you, do not stay with it on your own. Espouse that idea to your friends, your family members at home, and when you go to your association meetings, mention it to them that you met a guy who can change Nigeria. I do not, and I've not seen anybody since I've been campaigning who promised to vote for Buhari again. None. I'm not even sure that Buhari's wife will vote for him. because she has already indicated that she may not vote for him because of the cabal around him. That is the future that we must fight for in Nigeria, a future that guarantees justice, both electoral, economic, political, and all forms of injustice that have been done in Nigeria can be corrected once and for all. Are we saying that this is possible, you know, that Nigeria will turn into a Dorado overnight? Of course not. But I said to people, if we cannot make Nigeria look like the US, we can at least make it look like Ghana. Yes. Accra, Ghana, they have not had electrical problems in about 2 years. They had some electrical problem within a year, they solved it. The president who was there when they had that electrical problem, which was, maybe they were getting 18 hours per day and they were upset about it, they even had a name for it. They did not vote for him to come back to power. In Nigeria, it's as if the worse, the more our leaders perform terribly, the more we vote for them to come back to power. I even have friends who are supporting Buhari, and I don't know what is wrong with them, you know. Yes, they're informed. Some of them have PhDs. Yes, but they are supporting, and I ask them, you know, how can you do this to yourselves? And when you support him to come back, you are doing it to others. There are people who are supporting Atiku. You know, Jews or Kalu is supporting Buhari because, of course, he doesn't want to go to jail because of the money he stole in Abia State. And I reported a lot on that. And that's how you know that I don't have relationship with people. Jews or Kalu invited me to his house several times in Potomac. Please, you need to come and see me. I said, I want to send you to jail. I cannot come and see you. I'll come and visit you when you go to prison. I can come and visit you and remind you that I promise that you go to jail. Now, I don't think you can come to that house in Potomac. You can still come there, because I know somebody died there. There was a woman that died there and he was running away from the house. He's still running. He's still on the run. Yes. So these are the kind of characters. And when Jews or Kanu left, he left another even more terrible person in charge of Abia. Theodore, the one that went to Okija at that time, you know, his underwear. I was the one who picked out the picture where he was in Okija. Holding, these guys are horrible. They went to swear, you know, in Okija shrine. The man was on his underwear holding chicken, live chicken. And how do you expect that people like that will work for the people? It's not possible. Yes. Anyway, Nigeria for you. So, and that has to do with the issue of discipline and corruption, that until you have leaders who are capable of holding people to account, the country is not going anywhere. In Nigeria, what we want to do is to defeat the cannibalism of politics in Nigeria. The National Assembly that you're talking about, it's not a political structure in the sense of a political structure or an arm of government. It's a coven of thieves. Most of the people in the National Assembly, including the former Abia State governor, they are in the Senate. They are collecting retirement benefits and also collecting allowances. But Saraki is, until recently, he used to collect allowances as a former governor and is still collecting allowances as a senator.
We are taking it back. Take it back.
Well,
taking it back. Take it back.
Yes, he stopped because we exposed them. That's the only reason they stopped. And you can't be sure that they have stopped, by the way. You can't be sure. No, it's true. So, what I'm saying to you is that this Senate or the National Assembly is meant for Nigerians. Nigeria is not meant for the Senate. I want to say it and I'll repeat it here again. A lot of people don't like when I say it. They said it sounds dictatorial. I'm not saying that I will just do it. But my preference would be for Nigeria to have a unicameral legislative arm. That we should abolish the Nigerian Senate and just have the House of Reps, where there's one person comes from every local government, and we can make the House of Representatives a part-time job. If you don't show up, you don't get paid.
That's right.
You know, we were doing a comparison between U.S. senators and Nigerian senators. U.S. senators must be jealous when they know what Nigerian senators are taking home. Do you know that the allowances of a senator per month is 13.5 million naira? And they've just increased the budget of Nigeria by 508 billion. They did it yesterday. And they have increased the allowances again.
Behind closed doors.
Yes. And that the allowances that they have increased, if you are a civil servant in Nigeria and you are receiving 300,000 naira per month, in 35 years, you cannot earn the equivalent of the allowances of a senator. This is, you can go and do your research. It is sinful, and that is not the only thing they do. They also collect the salary. Most of them don't even go near their salary account because it's like 750,000 naira per month. That one is chicken chain. But they have 200 million allocated to them as constituency projects per senator and also House of Rep members. And after that, they do what they call oversight functions to ministries, departments, and agencies. That is the biggest extortion of all time. It's an extortion racket. When Jonathan came to power, I was disappointed, I will say it again, that Jonathan had allowed himself to be used the way he allowed himself to be used, or engaged in the kind of governance that he did. And most of the problem we had came from the SC, because, and I keep asking, I just came from the southeast. I did not see any roads that Jonathan built in the southeast. I did not see any agricultural farm or any factory he built in the 5 years that he was in power. And I'm still wondering, what was it about Jonathan that people were missing anywhere in Nigeria? But that's a conversation for another symposium discussion in the future.